Dozens of people were injured, and there are no guarantees that tensions will subside after the referendum. The lack of communication between political parties and the one-party rule led to the distrust of parties. The problems in Egypt cannot be solved even if the constitution is perfect. I think in the future the situation will be more complicated. The Islamist-dominated government that has remained in the background until now is trying to appease the tensions. The spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood has called for dialogue between opponents and supporters of President Morsi. The call was backed by Egypt's Mufti, who called for the results of the referendum Monday to be respected.
In Syria, residents of Christian areas in the central part of the country have been asked to help rebels of the Free Syrian Army in their fight against troops loyal to Bashar al-Assad. An Italian Prime Minister Mario Monti has resigned from his post months after succeeding Silvio Berlusconi. Austerity hit Italy. It's struggling to weather a wave of protests over the deep economic crisis affecting the country. We have details of those stories and others in the CFI roundup.
Rebel fighters are warning inhabitants of the two Christian areas in the region of Hama and the center of the country that they will be launching an attack in order to get rid of members of the pro-Assad forces. The rebels are asking the population to open their doors to members of the Free Syrian Army. The Russian president, who is Damascus's ally, expressed concern over the chaotic situation in Syria. NATO says it has detected fresh Scud-type missile firing by the regime. Riots and supermarket lootings have risen since Thursday in a number of Argentine cities. These images are staunch reminders of the 2001 financial crisis, where 50% of the people ended up living under the breadline. Today, according to a number of analysts, the situation is more political than economic. At least 2 people have died and hundreds have been injured throughout the country. Around 300 people have been arrested. Political unrest began in November in opposition to the potential re-election of the president. Markets were calm after the Republicans' rescue plan, which was meant to stop the country's budget crisis, failed to make it through the Chamber of Representatives. The budget is affected by an increase in taxes for all Americans, and there will also be automatic spending cuts as of the 1st of January. The American president met with the president of the Chamber of Representatives, John Boehner. Barack Obama on Friday called on Congress to adopt a more modest budget so as to avoid compulsory austerity measures at the start of January. Following the resignation of Mario Monti, parliamentary campaigning has officially begun, but it's still uncertain whether he will be one of the candidates. Professor Monti is viewed rather positively by his European peers and the business world. 60% of Italians are said to be against Monti as a candidate. Should he run, he would lose his image of a man of the state above any party.
We now take our second break. And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. Staff of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology have validated the Ministry's 2012 activity report. Health experts have conducted a massive exercise to disinfect wells and taps in the Central River region as part of celebrations marking Global Hand Washing Day. Voters in Egypt have endorsed new changes to the constitution, but anti-Morsi elements say the move has betrayed the revolution. And Syrian rebels have intensified their fight to dislodge Bashar al-Assad with new attacks in mainly Christian areas of the country. That brings us to the end of the news. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.
have a physical illness, we would like to indicate that the